Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Tracy offers Lulu her daughter in return for her silence? According to General Hospital teasers, Lulu Spencer recently discovered a whopper. Brooklyn Quartermain had a baby with Dante Falconeri as a teenager and gave it up for adoption without telling him. This revelation has Lulu ready to blow the whistle, and Brooklyn is sweating bullets. She and her mother, Lois Cerullo, are about to panic, and who better to depend on for help than Tracy Quartermain, the family's Iron Lady. Lulu may threaten to spill the beans, which might devastate Brooklyn's life, particularly with Dante. Tracy might be the one to slam the lid on this pot that is about to boil over. General Hospital spoilers: Lulu's bombshell discovery rocks the Quartermains. Lulu's desperation to inform Brooklyn of what she knows will most certainly send Lois racing for shelter. The moment Lulu discovered Brooklyn had kept Dante in the dark about their long-lost child, she was ready to ignite the match. Brooklyn is worried that telling Dante right now may ruin her life, especially with Harrison Chase involved. Lulu has no idea that Giovanni Gio Palmieri is Brooklyn and Dante's long-lost son, but Lois does. So it's anyone's guess whether Lois will tell Tracy that information in confidence. Wouldn't that be a significant difference in Tracy's treatment of the young houseguest? Spoilers: Tracy may muzzle Lulu. Tracy is no new to wielding power, and this juicy scandal could be just up her alley. She has a strong link with Lulu. Ex-stepmother vibes die hard, but will she use it to keep quiet? Tracy may use some major leverage to defend Brooklyn, perhaps speaking sweet nothings about family loyalty or throwing some bones Lulu's way. She has the money and the savvy to make problems go away, and silencing Lulu could be her next chess move. But if Lulu's stubborn streak takes over, she is a Spencer. After all, Tracy may have to boost the ante. The question is, how far will she go to keep Dante in the dark and Brooklyn's secret hidden? General Hospital spoilers: Charlotte is the ultimate bargaining chip. Jason Morgan and Anna Devane are following Valentine Cassadine to get Charlotte Cassadine for Lulu, but if they fail again, Lulu's heart will break. Tracy enters, sniffing for an opportunity. What if she agrees to use her Quartermain clout, cash, connections, the works, to bring Charlotte home, but only if Lulu keeps quiet about Brooklyn's baby? It's a gut punch moment, stillness for her daughter. Tracy may strike gold with Lulu pining for Charlotte. Will Lulu give up, or will her urge to spill outweigh all? General Hospital spoilers weekly preview March 10th to 14th, Curtis's bold move, Laura's victory, Liz gets flirty, Nina's romantic golden twist. This week on GH, Curtis takes action, Laura celebrates a victory, Liz, Lucky, and Laura have family time, and a golden bachelor arrives to seduce Nina. General Hospital spoilers and updates for the week of Monday, March 10th to Friday, March 14th. Hint to coups, attraction growth, and a surprise visit. Curtis Ashford pulls off a coup, Lucky Spencer and Elizabeth Baldwin's attraction intensifies, and special guest Golden Bachelorette runner-up Guy Gansert makes an appearance at Crimson Magazine. Curtis is in Mayor Laura Collins' office and has a copy of The Invader, which has an article on Drew Quartermain. A shot of Tracy Quartermain is also presented, with her cutting a large red ribbon. Laura sees the newspaper item and asks Curtis, "You were behind this, weren't you?" Curtis responds, "Yeah." Laura is happy, slapping Curtis' hand and exclaiming, "Way to go." It appears to be about the proposed Esplanade project, which Drew and Jen Sidwell were attempting to build on the piers, taking over sunny Corinthos territory. Laura's attraction grows, and it appears that she may spend some time with her son Lucky this week, who is obviously home from the hospital. Lucky and Laura are sitting on the couch at Elizabeth's house, with a painting on an easel visible in the background. Elizabeth walks by and smiles, clearly pleased to have them there, particularly Lucky. Lucky and Elizabeth will also spend quality time together this week, but some of their intentions will be disrupted later. But the finest thing, the thing they can celebrate, is Lucky's survival when Cyrus Renaud stabbed him in the leg with a needle, which was his final tried victim. The next scene has a special guest, Golden Bachelorette runner-up Guy Gansert, who is there for an interview to be published in Crimson Magazine. Nina Reeves is in full flirt mode as she asks him, "So you're single?" To which he replies, "For the time being," implying that the flirtation may be mutual. Gansert, a retired surgeon, will play a nature writer named Jeffrey Beckett in the episode airing on Wednesday, March 12th, and Nina may be interested in more than just his writing. Jeffrey meets down with Nina to discuss his previous efforts, including a particularly emotional piece that captures his voyage across the stunning archipelago of Tierra del Fuego. I am deeply passionate about uncovering nature's pristine and unblemished landscapes, Jeffrey explains in this captivating moment. Rena Sofer of GH discusses the Geo storyline, her ex Wally Kurth, and pretty much everything else. General Hospital spoilers and updates show Rena Sofer, who plays Lois Cerullo on the ABC soap, discusses the Geo Palmieri storyline, her ex, and just about everything else. She recently gave a long interview to Woman's World magazine in which she discussed a wide range of topics. Is semi-retirement on the horizon? Rena Sofer, best known for her portrayal as Lois Cerullo, is trying tirelessly to protect Brooke Lynn Quartermaine Chase, Geo, and the rest of Port Charles from uncovering the truth. In an interview with Woman's World, she discusses her thoughts about returning to the Quartermaine estate after 27 years. The Daytime Emmy winner, who has been on shows such as Seinfeld and NCIS, discusses Lois' shocking secret and her time working with her real-life and on-screen ex-husband Wally Kurth. She also stated her opinion on whether Lois requires a romantic interest. Sofer, who began her career on soaps like Loving, Another World, and nearly 10 years on The Bold and the Beautiful, has also mentioned considering a move east and plans to semi-retire. When Frank Valentini, the executive producer of General Hospital, contacted Rena Sofer about reprising her role from 1993, which won her a Daytime Emmy in 1995, she was thrilled to return. A year and a half later, Lois is still immersed in the drama as one of the faces of deception. Frank made the process so seamless and delightful, Sofer says of her comeback. I appreciate Lois being loyal to her character. Then he introduced a fascinating storyline about her daughter having a baby as a teenager and the consequences that follow. I've been looking forward to it ever since. She didn't just set up an adoption, she kept it all in the family. Lois didn't just arrange for her daughter Brooke Lynn Chase's baby to be adopted, she secretly gave the baby, whom Dante Falconeri had no idea was his, to her late cousin, Camila. Brooke Lynn, who used to dodge the Q family's plans, is now attempting to conceal her own well-intentioned plan now that young Geo lives in the Quartermaine home. It's amazing that the roles have been reversed, but this isn't who she truly is. And it's not about the Quartermaines, her greatest worry is losing her daughter, adds Sofer, who has 3 kids herself. Parents understand that doing their best for their children can lead to them needing treatment as a result of how they were handled. Rena is both excited and scared for the truth to come out. This narrative is gaining traction following a lengthy build-up and some misleading indications that generated numerous fan hypotheses. Sofer expresses excitement and anxiety over her character's secret eventually being disclosed. I do scenes with others thinking, when the truth comes out, you won't hate me, right? She explains. They say, what are you talking about? It's only that I'm generally liked, but now I'll be the outcast. It's strange knowing that people will be furious with Lois, and I have to depict it. Fortunately, Sofer will be working with Amanda Sutton and Giovanni Mazza, who play Brooke Lynn and Geo, respectively. Rena gets along with her castmates. Sofer says, Amanda is great, and we have a really enjoyable bond that feels like a mother-daughter relationship. We understand each other in so many ways, and Geo is one of the loveliest individuals you'll ever meet. He's just so nice and wonderful. I'm excited for him and the wonderful storyline he'll have, as it's going to be quite the ride. In addition to how this affects Brooke Lynn, Geo, and Dante, Lois will also have to deal with the grandparents, which means the actress will most likely have some interesting moments with her Sonny Corinthos plus her on- and off-screen ex-husband, Wally Kurth, who plays Brooke Lynn's father, Ned, and is also the father of Sofer's daughter, Rosabelle. Rena talks about working with Wally. It can be strange to work with an ex-spouse, but Sofer says that returning to work with Wally has been a great experience. We've really enjoyed it, she adds. Despite their shared past and co-parenting, Sofer and Kurth have no desire to recreate a romance plotline for their characters from the 1990s. So far, Lois hasn't had any romantic plotlines, which Sofer is comfortable with. I don't miss love stories or scenes, she admits. The last love scenes I did with Lawrence St. Victor on The Bold and the Beautiful were as intense as it gets for me. Unless I end up in a nursing home love story. Rena keeps pitching a stunt cast with George Clooney in it. I keep mentioning a nice guest appearance where someone like George Clooney turns up at the house. She jokes. He knocks on the Quartermain door and asks, "Hey, Lois, when are you coming home? You've been here too long." That way, we'll know she hasn't merely been missing Ned all along, right? Sofer, 56, comments she's had her sexy days, and then a voice from the background says, "You're always sexy." Sofer chuckles and reveals that this is her husband, Sanford Bookstaver, whom she married in 2003, divorced in 2017, got back together with in 2019, and remarried in May. Rena discusses remarriage to her current husband and a possible move. The bride, who has a daughter named Avalon with Bookstaver, is looking to sell their Los Angeles house in order to relocate to the East Coast. "After our divorce, I wasn't interested in dating, so I explored many new things," she tells me. "Now, we want to semi-retire, and my desire is to build a home where we can live indefinitely if we wish. It will have a large studio downstairs for my woodworking and ceramics, as well as a dog room where we will be able to foster and care for our pets with plenty of outdoor space." Speaking of dogs, when Sofer was single and looking for new creative activities, she unexpectedly fell in love with a dog her daughter desired to adopt. She now has 6 dogs at home, and her commitment to assisting dog shelters has deepened her relationship with her old General Hospital co-star Vanessa Marcil, who played Brenda, Lois' passionate girlfriend. Sofer explains, "We didn't talk for years because life got hectic, but we have a deep regard for each other and a strong friendship. We enjoy acting and inventing characters, but that is not our primary emphasis. We talk about our children, dogs, and the world around us. I believe that's why we're friends. We motivate each other, and that's the best kind of friendship." Sofer and Marcel's recent charity campaign. They recently collaborated on a social media campaign to assist a mother dog and her 8 puppies, demonstrating their commitment to making a positive difference. "During our events, we hold raffles, and the money raised goes to a local shelter or one we support," she tells me. "Whenever feasible, we visit shelters or go on a run with the dogs. It can be overwhelming in today's environment, so it's great to contribute in a meaningful way." Rena discusses her recent indie film and future plans. Sofer may reference semi-retirement, but she still enjoys her profession. The actress recently starred in the indie murder mystery Death on the Brandywine with All My Children's Walt Wiley and T.C. Watkins from One Life to Live. After relocating east and building her dream home, she is anxious to return to acting. She would play Lois on General Hospital and Quinn on The Bold and the Beautiful. "I would be open to anything and everything," she says. Rena discussed what's ahead. Sofer is preparing to meet Vanessa Marcil and soap drama fans at a number of events. Meanwhile, Lois is doing everything she can to keep Gio, Brooklyn, Dante, and his grandparents Olivia, Sonny, and Ned from finding his actual genealogy on GH. "Things are going to get intense, in very bad ways," Sofer tells Woman's World. Lois thought she was acting in everyone's best interests, but she has a lot to explain. Jocelyn Jacks may still be in town, but her time is running short when WSB Chief Jack Brennan issued an unexpected directive. She will be taken off for agent training immediately. Fans are perplexed by the timing of Cyrus Renault's abrupt career change, which comes just after his strange absence. Jack is dangling this opportunity in front of her, but she hasn't seized it yet. Meanwhile, Carly Spencer is bound to begin looking for answers, and Anna Devane could be the one to put the pieces together. Will Joss depart before Carly discovers the truth, or will Anna reveal Jack's plot before it is too late? Joss is still on familiar territory, but with Jack's orders approaching, she needs to develop a compelling excuse, and quickly. How does she explain leaving school without raising alarms? Her family is already renowned for being overly nosy, and working at Kelly's, which Carly controls, means she can't simply escape between shifts without a plausible explanation. Will she try to pass it off as a spontaneous girls' trip or an unexpected internship opportunity? Jack may be pulling some strings to cover for her, but Carly is no fool. She will not accept a flimsy justification. Carly is already tense, and Anna has added gasoline to the fire by stating that Joss was at the PCPD earlier, vehemently defending Jason Morgan when he was detained, insisting he had no involvement in Cyrus' disappearance. That revelation must have sent Carly spinning, since when has Joss been Jason's spokesperson? The shock is still seeping in, and if Carly goes seeking for her baby, she might find her before Jack takes her out. But if Joss leaves town as planned, Carly will be left grasping for answers, desperate to figure out what's going on. Anna's senses as a former spy are on high alert, and she could be the one to break the case wide open. Joss' unexpected recruitment bears all the hallmarks of Jack's WSB strategy: move quickly, extract the asset, and leave everyone else to pick up the pieces. Anna is well aware of how he acts, and she may begin to draw parallels between Joss' participation with the PCPD, Cyrus' disappearance, and this abrupt departure. The decision is whether she will sit back and watch Carly struggle to find her kid, or she will warn her about the man she warned her about months ago. If Anna decides to speak up, Carly may go to battle to keep Joss from being drawn into Jack's world. General Hospital spoilers: is Valentine's life coming to an end, or will Anna save him for Charlotte's sake? General Hospital spoilers and speculations suggest that Valentine Cassidy's life may be coming to an end, as Jack Brennan has issued a kill order. He tells Charlotte Cassidy it's time to say goodbye, hoping to get her to safety but unaware that help is on the way. Jason Morgan and Anna Devane are on their way to Buenos Aires even as Valentine tries to get Charlotte on a flight back to Port Charles. Charlotte refuses to go because she fears she may never see her papa again, despite the fact that she cannot protect him. She is unaware that the WSB, specifically Brennan, is tracking her social media posts, which is also how their whereabouts in Prague was revealed. This time, she didn't even post on social media. Instead, she texted her brother Rocco Falconeri to let him know she was fine and where they were. Until now, she'd been having a great time where she and her papa were staying. Danny Morgan told his father about the text, but Rocco snapped back. Danny informed his father about the text, and although Rocco hit back, Danny's father, Dante Falconeri, quickly resolved the situation between them. No one was going to tell Lulu Spencer Charlotte's location because Dante and Rocco knew she'd be on the first plane to arrive. After the ambush in the Prague cafe, Dante does not want her to try a rescue. They could all have been killed there. Valentine had been clearly identified as the target, and no one wants him to be assassinated in front of Charlotte, but this might easily happen. That's why Valentine is forcing her to return to Port Charles without him. Anna and Jason walk into a trap when they find Valentine and Charlotte. Anna and Jason believed they were going into a trap when they discovered Valentine and Charlotte, with Anna telling Jason in the car that everything seemed too easy. But the trouble is that they aren't the only ones. Valentine and Charlotte were clearly followed. It's another ambush, but Jason quickly dispatches the assassin Brennan's secretary Colette Moreau, who they don't realize works for Brennan. However, she is not alone, and as backup arrives with guns blazing, Anna hurriedly snatches Charlotte and persuades Valentine to accompany her for his daughter's safety. Jason, Anna, Valentine, and Charlotte all return to Port Charles, and Anna contacts Brennan to identify Colette and the others. Scarlett Fernandez is back. The teen returns for more drama. Lulu's wait to spend time with her daughter could soon be over. Scarlett Fernandez took to Instagram this morning to share a shot standing outside the General Hospital studio. Could it be? Is the teen returning to Port Charles for good? She's back. The last time we saw Charlotte, she was briefly reunited with her mother. Poor Lulu finally saw her nearly grown child for the first time since slipping into a coma, only to be forced to say goodbye far too soon. Now we have to wonder what has brought Charlotte all the way back over the pond. Will she be alone? Will Charlotte return to Port Charles alone, or will her father accompany her? The hunt for Valentine continues, and the effort to bring him down is intensifying. Perhaps sending Charlotte home to her mother is part of his master plan to remain in the wind. Of course, Charlotte's return to town raises the question of how she will manage it. Her life has been far from normal in recent years. From her father's murky activities to being shot by Anna, and the Cassidy heritage looming over her, she's got a lot on her plate for a young kid. Will she be able to adjust to life with Lulu again, or will the anguish of their separation lead to new difficulties? And let us not forget Rocco. Charlotte's youngest brother has spent a long time without his sister. How will their reunion turn out? Will the transition be easy, or will they feel like strangers now? Charlotte doesn't have a reputation for being the easiest teen to get along with. What's next for Charlotte? Charlotte's return is sure to stir things up in Port Charles. Fans will be eager to see how this plays out, whether she's here for a brief appearance or a long-term plot. Will Lulu finally have a chance to restore her life with her daughter, or will there be more drama ahead? Stay tuned to discover out. Port Charles has never been without drama, but Christina Corinthos Davis is currently at the center of a storm that has the potential to transform her future and the Corinthos legacy itself. Her recent acts indicate an unexpected shift, a gradual but evident pull toward the life her father, Sonny Corinthos, constructed beyond the law. A fight with her sister, Molly Lansing Davis, has only widened the distance between them as Christina's perspective on justice becomes dangerously similar to Sonny's. What began as dissatisfaction with a dysfunctional judicial system has evolved into something far more alarming, a determination to take matters into her own hands. Could Christina be on the verge of entering her father's world? Christina and Molly have never agreed on everything, but their relationship has never been more strained. Their most recent dispute was about more than just conflicting opinions, it was about fundamental principles on which neither of them is ready to compromise. Molly, who was always realistic and dedicated to the law, attempted to reason with Christina about due process and fairness. But Christina was not in the mood for lectures. She made it obvious that she has lost faith in the legal system, describing it as a rigged game that fails the very individuals it is supposed to protect. Her hatred has been simmering for months, ever after the tragic loss of her unborn child, which she solely blames on Ava Jerome. Molly, being the sensible one, pushed her sister to let go of her bitterness and believe that justice would prevail. But Christina laughed at the idea, questioning why she should continue to rely on a system that has already failed her. In that moment, it became evident that she wasn't just angry. She was looking for her own method of making things right. Molly noticed it too, and the realization sent shivers down her spine. What happens if Christina no longer believes in seeking justice through legal means? Christina's friendship with Sonny grows stronger while her conflict with Molly worsens. He's always been present in her life, but something has changed. She's no longer merely his kid, she's developing an understanding of his world that none of his other children have. Their chats have taken on a new significance, with overtones that foreshadow a deadly future. Sonny, the guy who built an empire in the shadows, has always been cautious about how much of his world he shares with his children. What about Christina? She's different. She isn't turning away. She's listening. She is asking questions. Most importantly, she is beginning to comprehend why he makes the decisions he does. She does not perceive her father as a criminal. She sees him as someone who steps up when the system fails. During one of their late-night conversations, she caught him off guard with a comment that lingered with him. She told him plainly that she admires how he handles things when no one else will. Sonny, who was always leery of bringing his children into his world, sought to dismiss it, telling her that his life was not something she should admire. But Christina was undeterred. She pressed on, curious as to why he still allows the system to determine results when he has the ability to influence them. Sonny noticed a familiar fire in her eyes, one that reminded him of himself when he was younger. A shift that no one saw coming. The concept had never occurred to Sonny before. Michael Corinthos did not want anything to do with his empire. Dante Falconeri, a cop through and through, served as his moral counterbalance. Morgan Corinthos, if he had survived, could have been a possibility, but he was gone. And now, Jason Morgan, his most trusted right hand, is too busy raising Danny Morgan to be Sonny's enforcer as he once was. For the first time, Sonny faced the potential of an unexpected successor, Christina. It wasn't just her rage against Ava that worried him. It was her conviction. Her willingness to go beyond black and white morality. She was not like her siblings, who preferred to mend things according to the rules. She was looking beyond them and, whether she knew it or not, she was already speaking his language. Then came the moment when everything changed. Christina, never one to hide her feelings, stared him dead in the eye and said, "If you had lost someone like I did, would you have just let it go?" Sonny did not respond right away. He understood exactly what she was asking. She wasn't simply ranting anymore. She was pondering taking action. And that is what worried him. Christina's shift at a dangerous crossroads has not gone unnoticed. Carly Spencer has begun to notice a shift in her demeanor, the way she conducts herself, and the keen edge in her voice when discussing justice, or the lack thereof. Carly has spent years watching Sonny shape the people around him, and she understands the signs better than anyone else. The problem is that Christina is not simply another enforcer. She's his daughter. Carly confronted Sonny about it one evening, her voice full of rage. She is upset, Sonny. And we all know what happens when someone in this family allows their anger to take over. Sonny groaned loudly, leaning against the bar and swirling a tumbler of bourbon. Do you think I don't see it? She is paying more attention to you than she has in the past. And she's not just listening, she's agreeing with you. She's my daughter. That's exactly what makes this so dangerous. Carly wasn't mistaken, and that was what worried Sonny the most. Christina wasn't only looking for comfort. She was looking for guidance. And the more she learned from him, the more she seemed to discover one. A new era on the horizon? If Christina takes this road, it might change everything. Unlike her brothers, who either rejected or were at war with Sonny's world, she appears to embrace it. She is not asking for protection, she is asking for understanding. The question is, will Sonny let her? If he does, Port Charles may soon see the emergence of a Corinthos unlike any other. And if she enters that realm, there may be no going back. The parts are shifting. The decision is hers. And whichever decision she makes, Port Charles will never be the same again. General Hospital spoilers March 11th, Brooklyn's rage erupts on the next GH, Brooklyn is outraged, Dante and Lulu reconnect, and Sasha meets Carly. In addition to an irate Brooklyn, General Hospital teasers for Tuesday, March 11th, 2025 highlight a desperate Portia and a sympathetic Emma. It shouldn't come as a surprise that Brooklyn is outraged, especially after receiving an ultimatum from someone who has no authority to give one. But that is what Lulu did. Something tells us that Lulu's rant isn't what makes Brooklyn so angry. During their heated argument, Lulu revealed that she found Brooklyn had adopted a kid and that Dante was the father from Martin's private notes. Maybe Brooklyn figures out why her mother hired Martin. Does Brooklyn confront Lois about her actions? Dante and Gio. While Brooklyn rages, Dante and Lulu reunite, which is an unusual use of words given that they are constantly conversing. However, they are conversing while Lulu has information that will change Dante's life forever. This will surely be a difficult conversation, at least for her. Will she tell him everything she knows? Emma, on the other hand, defends Gio. This Emma/Gio relationship constantly appears to revolve around Gio supporting Emma or explaining how she should behave in particular situations. But the two have become friends, so it's fair play, and Emma will be supporting Gio on Tuesday. The question here is, what situation requires Emma to step up for her friend? Desperate decisions. Portia is in a horrible situation. Drew is utilizing the information Brad provided to his aunt. She needs Curtis to back up from Drew sooner rather than later. She had previously consulted Rick and Ava, but was that enough to help? When Portia begs with Curtis, as she told him about Drew's blackmail and how she has been keeping things from her husband? We all know Curtis despises lying. And we all know what Curtis does to those who lie to him. Finally, Sasha meets with Carly. This is probably to respond to Carly's prior offer of a position as chef at the Metro Court Hotel restaurant and free bed and board in one of the hotel suites. What will Sasha decide? A secret partnership. Sidwell's landing in Port Charles was no coincidence. He arrived prepared, with knowledge of Sonny's business and shortcomings. It quickly becomes clear that his inside source was none other than Selena Wu. The Wu family has long been involved in the criminal underworld, and Selena has spent years keeping one foot in Sonny's circle while running her own businesses. The clues had been there all along. Sidwell knew too much about Sonny's operations from the minute he arrived in town. While he played coy, it's clear that he wasn't gathering information from scratch, he already had a pipeline of knowledge. Selena, the strategist, may have been his eyes and ears for months, if not years. She understands Sonny's operations, his flaws, and the people in his sphere. But, why would she betray Sonny now? Opportunity may hold the key to finding the answer. With Sunny's attention divided between personal concerns and shifting relationships, his grasp on his empire is less than it once was. Selena has been patient, waiting for the proper time to make her move. And with Sidwell in town, she may finally see her opportunity. Their plan is equally ambitious and brutal. If they succeed, Sunny's dominion could crumble. The Esplanade, a cover for something bigger. A significant component of their strategy is the newly planned Esplanade project, a respectable endeavor that may serve as the ideal front for illicit operations. More importantly, it provides an opportunity to draw another player into their web, Drew Quartermain. Drew, a man who understands the importance of power and influence, has already interacted with both Sidwell and Selena. What he doesn't comprehend is that he's being used as the ideal scapegoat. While he believes he is negotiating on his own terms, he is unintentionally falling into a trap. The Esplanade is more than just a commercial move, it's a chessboard, and Drew is being used as a pawn. Sidwell's sudden interest in the idea is not coincidental. He's integrating himself into the business community and establishing trust, but in truth, he and Selena intend to utilize the Esplanade as a hub for their expanding empire. Smuggling, money laundering, and illicit transactions will all be routed via this initiative under the appearance of respectable commerce. Drew's role? He's the ideal cover. His reputation, status in the community, and engagement in the project make him the perfect fall guy if things go wrong. And when the heat goes down, Sidwell and Selena will be long gone, leaving Drew to take the fall. A deadly explosion shakes Port Charles, but their goals do not end there. Sidwell and Selena recognize that power transitions necessitate instability. Fear, more than anything else, causes disorder. A terrible explosion on the Esplanade is about to undermine the foundations of Port Charles, figuratively and literally. The explosion is more than just an act of destruction, it's a premeditated maneuver to implicate Sunny while eliminating any potential challenges to their plan. Sidwell and Selena planned evidence that directly links the explosion to Sunny's organization. The authorities will have no choice but to investigate, and if the appropriate strings are pulled, Sunny may end up in a situation from which he cannot escape. The consequences are disastrous. Lives are at stake. Innocent victims of the blast may never recover. Sidwell and Selena take advantage of the pandemonium. Drew, unaware of how far he's been drawn in, finds himself in the center of the aftermath. All roads point to him, and before he can put the pieces together, he knows he's been duped. Every document, transaction, and detail regarding the Esplanade's finance can be traced back to him. And with the authorities seeking for answers, he may not have a way out. Sunny is now backed into a corner and has no choice but to fight back. He knows this was planned, but proving it will be another battle altogether. With the walls closing in, the question is whether he can outmaneuver Sidwell and Selena before it's too late. The fallout, who will survive? The explosion marks only the beginning. In the days that follow, the power struggle becomes more intense. Sidwell and Selena work quickly, breaking ties and burying tracks. Drew, desperate to clear his name, must decide whether to accept the blame or go on the offense. And Sunny, a guy who has endured more betrayals than most, prepares for a conflict he never expected. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.